Hey folks, David Stewart here. Hope you guys are having a great day. Don't forget to check out the new book, King Leper. You can get yourself a signed jacketed hardback. I'm going to talk about content marketing today. I'm doing it. Here it is. I'm marketing. Buy this book. It's good. It's a great book. It's actually really big. It's 3 smaller books packed into one, kind of like Needle Ash. Eternal Dream Book 3. Great epic story. Get yourself a very limited edition. But if you wait and buy it on Amazon, chances are you're not going to get this version. You're going to get a different kind of hardback. So anyway, you need to get this. What is content marketing? I've talked about this a lot. And so this video is for anyone who's a creator. If you are a writer, a comic book artist, or a video game designer, and you're like, how do I market my crap without losing lots of money? Because I don't know how to advertise, right? The truth is, advertising is really hard, and if you are trying to advertise on Amazon, good luck. It's very difficult to master that system, and it gets weirder and weirder as time goes on, to where people will pay buku money to take AdWords for authors from people who make their money selling AdWords for authors courses rather than selling books. That is advertising on Amazon. It's tough, right? But the cheapest, most effective, best long-term strategy for you as an independent creator to market your product, whatever it is. It could be a t-shirt. It could be a brand new video game. But I'm going to focus on the creative stuff like music and video games. The best strategy is called content marketing. It's what I'm doing now. I'm totally open with this. It's not a secret. I've been talking about it for years. My friends have had excellent success with this. Some of them more success than me. Just like take the strategy I do and you just do it. And they're like, boom, they get exploding YouTube views and they get tons of sales on their books and it works great. So here's the thing. What you do is you do what I'm doing here, which is you make content that people want to watch. And in that content, you tell them about your product. Now, the content is valuable on its own. People want to watch it because there's information in the content that they want to get. They want your opinion on something. They want to read whatever article you've written, or they want to watch whatever video you're making. There's something there that they actually want. And by incorporating a mention of your product that you can buy and why you should buy it, it's really good, high quality, cover art by Jesse White. You can see some of his cover art behind me, right? By incorporating that into the content, you're advertising your product without you having to pay anything. And in fact, you're gonna, this will amplify everything once you get really good at it. It will also be a piece of content that's up on the internet for a long time. And so on a site like YouTube, people are watching how to efficiently level in Oblivion on my channel still. On the top and bottom of the screen are little pictures of my books. Now, they're books that I wrote 7 years ago, but they're still there. And so you can see little pictures of my books and go, well, this guy writes books and I like fantasy. Maybe I'll read a fantasy book. So they can end up buying the book, right? It's like advertising that's been running for the cost of me spending 30 minutes making a video explaining the weird leveling system of Oblivion. I have reached hundreds of thousands of people with an image of my book. So how much are you going to pay to have 500,000 ad views? The answer is 0 if you make your content good enough. You can get 500,000 ad views just by making your content really viral. That's not easy to make viral content. But anyway, you get what I mean. Make content, people see it. It's like free advertising. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, it is you make content that people want to see, and that content is related somehow to your product that you're selling. So let's say you are making a fantasy book, such as King Leper, which is a great fantasy book, which you should read. How am I going to reach people who should read King Leper? It's actually not by doing videos like this where I'm telling you marketing strategies for how to market your book without spending any money and market it over the long term so you can continue to sell your book over the long term, continue to have a presence and a presence for your product. It's actually to do something that's highly related to that. So if we're looking at a fantasy book like King Leper, which you should read, you make content that a reader, your targeted reader is going to look at this content. And there's lots of different ways that you can target your audience. But think about somebody who is into fantasy. Think about your book. My book is a fantasy book. It's a classic fantasy book. It's not like the modern romance, fantasy that's all over the bookshelves now. It's classic fantasy. So my target demographic is probably young men who are into fantasy. What am I going to talk about? I can talk about Dungeons and Dragons. So I can make content about Dungeons and Dragons. I can make some content about a fantasy movie like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. I could make some content complaining about any of those things. And I'll talk about that in a second. I could make content on games, and that's a really good one too. So the people who really like fantasy games, they might like fantasy books. And if they don't like fantasy books, they might be interested enough in your fantasy book because it's special and related to what they're interested in that they might consider buying it. Okay. So you make content that's related to what your target reader is actually going to be interested in. I have made every mistake in the book that you can in this regard. So I can make a video on like classical guitar stuff. Is that going to sell any fantasy books? It's probably going to sell. I can get 500,000 views. It's going to sell nothing, right? Because people who are into classical guitar don't care about my fantasy books, and they don't care about my science fiction books. They just don't care about that. They might be interested in the Keys to Prolific Creativity book, which you can get on Amazon, or you can get it as part of the Patreon subscription. I don't know where my copy is. Anyway, that could be very relevant. So that would be someone else that I would target for that book. If I wanted to sell that book, I would make stuff about how to practice efficiently. Don't be a practice zombie. And right, like I might make these videos, and then that will sell that book over the long term as somebody comes across this video on like, don't be a practice zombie with your guitar. Oh, this guy sells a creative productivity book. Maybe I should read it. Maybe I should check it out. So I'm providing really relevant advertising, like very directed towards my potential readers. And you can get a hang of this with whatever product you're selling. So if you are making like an RPG, like let's say you're making an RPG game. Okay. So you can do content on other RPGs. Really easy. Do some content on Morrowind. Do some content on some similar ones. Do some content on Final Fantasy. Whatever's popular and kind of close to what you're doing. You do content on that, and you mention, oh yeah, I'm a game dev, and here's a game I'm developing right now. Please join me on the Kickstarter and give me some funds so I can hire more programmers or hire an art director or get a soundtrack from David Stewart, music channel link down below, whatever it's going to be, right? So that's what you do. And in that way, you're able to reach your target demographic, you're able to reach your target players and get them interested in what you're creating by talking about the things that they're already interested in. Now, let's talk about negative versus positive content. I have gone over this in depth in Keys to Prolific Creativity. The robot loves negativity. There we go. The robot loves negativity. When I talk about the robot, a lot of you know what I'm talking about. I mean the algorithm. But I call it the robot because it's this impersonal, mechanical thing that wants you to do certain things and rewards you for doing certain things, but never tells you what they are. You have to kind of guess. And so I'll just unlock the secrets that I found, which is negativity sells. Negativity gives you a lot more views, a lot more attention than positivity. If I make a video on how I made a video, everything sucks, right? Everyone watches the thing, everything sucks. If I make a video on this Star Wars movie sucks, it gets a lot more views than here's my favorite Star Wars movie. If I say this is my favorite Star Wars movie, that will get 1,000 views. If I say here's why episode 9 sucks, it'll get 20,000 views or more. You know, some of them are in the hundreds of thousands of views now. Okay. You get a lot more attention for negativity, a lot more attention. But there's a balancing act there, which is that you can use that negativity to get attention and maybe pull in some subscribers. And through that negativity, you're also going to get views of your product. There's a downside to that, which is that people who are really upset about you being negative about something will go and drop 1-star reviews on your book. Okay, it happens. Amazon sometimes will clear them off there for you if you just bring it up like, hey, this is somebody that I think was upset that I made a video that Star Wars sucks, and so they're leaving me 1-star reviews on my books because I do mention my books in my videos, and they'll pull those off. I've had that happen pretty rarely, and I've never asked Amazon to get rid of them. They just disappear on their own. Their own internal thing will just get rid of the negative reviews that they think are botted, or positive reviews too. You don't ever want to bot reviews. A lot of people buy reviews. I'm just going to tell you, avoid that if you can. I'm honest that most authors do that. That's how they get their social proof up, is it's all fake. And it's why you can get a 5-star book and you think it has a lot of social proof and it sucks. It's because it's all fake. Hey, I'm always into showing how the sausage is made. Let me pull back the veil and show you the wizard behind. Anyway, my big point here is you have to balance it, because once you get some subscribers in, you want to feed them things that they're excited about. Let me tell you about this brand new game I'm so excited to tell you about, right? That gets people excited. You can do a thing like let's say you're going to have a guitar channel or something. It's like, this is the worst guitar I've ever played. Boom, you're going to get like 30,000 views on that. Or whatever. You're going to get a bunch of views. And then you're like, this is the best guitar I've ever played. You're going to get way less views. But the people who actually subscribe to you, they are really interested in like, well, what does this guy think is the best guitar? I got to know, right? I got to know why this guitar is so good. I have a Parker Fly behind me, right? So I could make this thing like the worst guitar I have ever played. Why Gibson Les Pauls suck. I actually don't think they suck, but I might make a video like that to get attention. And then the follow-up would be like, why the Parker Fly is the best guitar ever made. And then that'll get a fraction of those views. But some of those subscribers that I got in with the guitar video will be like, yes, I wanted to know what guitar you thought was best and why. And it's like, now I want to get a Parker Fly, or now I'm going to look at a Parker Fly. I've never considered one before because they were always too expensive or they looked weird. And now you mentioned, you can get them for fairly affordable prices now. That's really cool. So anyway, just an example. Now, the next level that I want to talk about is the funnel. Is the funnel, okay? The funnel is where you are selling not just a book, a product, you're selling a service. And the service is a deep level service. So what you do is you have a book. I've used this one a bunch of times. I'm going to use dieting. Let's say you have a diet book, like you have a special diet and you are a nutritionist or a personal trainer or something. Let's say you're a personal trainer. You have a book on like the abs diet. You can call it the ultimate abs diet. Okay. You wrote this book on the ultimate abs diet. Let's see, my cat's messing around up there. You publish the book. You do a bunch of content on dieting. Hey, how to get six-pack abs. Why all those other abs diets suck. Here's 2 recipes to help you get shredded. Here's 3 vegan recipes to get your six-pack by summer. Okay, guys, if you're a fitness person, I'm giving you money right now. Just make these videos. Go make them. Go, right? And make your book about how to get your six-pack abs. In that video, you sell your book on six-pack abs. In the book, you sell your personal service. It goes, these are general diet guidelines. I can make a diet just for you, just personally for you. And I can develop your perfect training program. One-on-one client consultation. $100 an hour. Okay, whatever it is. You could charge more than that. If you do it really good. And the more clients you have, the more you can up that personal charge. You may start at 50. Hey, I'm still building my client list. I do only $50 an hour. And then later it's $300 an hour. Who knows? Sky's the limit. The point is, if you're selling that deep level service, you could do it. I use diet, but you could do, and I know someone who does this. You could do therapy, okay? Like psychotherapy. So you write a book on whatever you decide your expertise is going to be, your psychological expertise. Maybe it is personality disorders. I'm going to imagine it's personality disorders. Like this is what, maybe Dr. Grant has done this. But anyway, guide on personality disorders. Maybe it's one specific one. How to deal with people with borderline personality disorder. You go do a bunch of research. You assemble your book. You write it really good. You use your Josh Lysek hypnotic techniques to write a great nonfiction book. You put it on the market. Then you just make a bunch of content related to that. How to avoid someone with borderline personality disorder. Does your girlfriend have borderline personality disorder? What to do about people in your life with borderline personality disorder. How to detect a covert narcissist. What's the difference between narcissism and borderline personality? What's the difference between histrionic personality disorder and borderline, right? You just go on and do it. Boom, you make 100 videos. You just make a video every day with one of these topics, and then eventually you'll build up a subscriber base. They'll keep watching. They'll start buying the book. In the book, you also sell, oh yes, I do private therapy, online therapy, and I'm happy to work through your problems with you. I'm happy to give you advice for how to deal with your borderline personality disorder girlfriend, or how to deal with your attachment issues, or whatever it is. whatever you decide your expertise is. And so you sell your service like that. That's the deep level stuff. That's the thing that is going to like really build a career in doing stuff online. Okay. That's the format that you need to do. You have an expertise book that proves your expertise. You do a bunch of content related to that. And through that, you also sell a deeper, much more expensive service so that when you are selling your time, it's for a very high dollar amount. I'll tell you right now for YouTube, you're going to get more traction doing more content. That's just the way it is right now. I've tested it out, right? If you're doing content every day, you're going to get a bigger boost through the robot than if you are doing content once a week. But just try to do regular content, do out a lot of it, and try to build up that subscriber base. The thing is, all of this stuff goes together. So what I'm doing right now, I call it a content blitz. I've been very open with it. I've talked to people about it. I have a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is King Leper. It's a great book. You should read it. Anyway, lining up with the Kickstarter, I'm going to do content every day. I'm going to put writing other creative stuff to the side. I'm going to write an article. I'm going to put an article out every day if I can. I'm going to put a video out every day. If I'm not putting a video out that day, I'm going to live stream that day. Every day is content. So you do content every single day. And then by doing that, first of all, you start habituating your regular viewers to come back and view your content day after day after day. And then you start getting new people in because the robot likes that. It sees lots of people are liking this content. I'll show it to more people since so many people seem to be liking it. I'll show it to more and more people. And those people come in, they become subscribers. They become habituated to seeing your insights or your content on personality disorders or diet or whatever you're going to make your expertise in. They get habituated into seeing that every day, and it builds that up. It sells more books. Your books get more views. Your videos get more views as you do more videos. Your articles get more views. You link into your articles. Everything grows at once. So it becomes multiplicative. So you really want all these things to be going at once. And I've done them all wrong. In every possible wrong way that you could do this, I've done it because I've been doing it for over 10 years. So everything wrong you could do, you can do. And I'm just telling you the right way to do it so that you don't waste time the way I have. Figure out how everything harmonizes together and build your brand presence around that. I have made every mistake, right? I'm a musician. I got music stuff on the channel. I got product reviews on the channel. I've got literary analysis on the channel. I've got movie analysis on the channel. I've got politics I've got everything on the channel. It would be better if I had picked one thing, like this channel is going to be about science fiction stuff and just focused on the science fiction stuff and sold my books that way. It would have had better harmony, but I am me, like I'm my own person, and I'm pretty happy doing this and having the variety that I get to have every day and doing the content that I get to do. So that's just kind of where things are. And for me, what I will probably do is I'll continue stepping on the gas until the Kickstarter runs out, and then we're going to cruise a little bit, right? Blast and cruise. We blast up, and then when we need a break from the intensity of doing content every day, we just take our foot off the gas and we cruise for a while. You do regular content, but maybe you're not just hitting it every day, maybe a couple of times a week, and just let yourself cruise until you have that next product ready to sell. So I might cruise. Right now is March. I'll blast through March. Cruise in April as I fulfill the Kickstarter and mail the books. Then we're going to put the book on Amazon. I'm going to do a Kickstarter maybe for the next book, right? For the Prince of Twilight, which I wrote live. So those things can harmonize too. It's like King Leper is on Amazon and there's a Kickstarter for Prince of Twilight. You make all those things line up. And we're doing content every day. And maybe I'll put out a new album. Maybe I'll have like an album of orchestral fantasy music. Maybe I'll do that in April. And that's going to be the focus. And I'll probably live stream it so you guys can see what I'm doing. So you just do everything. You do everything at once. And then what happens, like, and I've already seen this, is like back catalog sales start going up because more people are visiting Amazon curious about your books because of the content. So everything grows at once. That's really the way you want to do it. So you start with the product that you want to sell and you get the related content stuff, and it's a good long-term strategy. It's cheap. It costs you nothing. It builds followers. It builds interest in the books. It builds free advertising. Like, it's just the best way to do it. So people are like, what's the solution to the fact that, like, I can't run AdWords, I can't get reviews, I can't get any of this stuff? It's like content marketing. It's the cheapest way to do it, and it's the best long-term solution to everything that you're going to be doing as a creative person. Thanks for listening to this lecture. I'm sorry if it was long-winded or anything, but I wanted to give you all the information and tell you, like, this is how you do it. So whatever your passion is for your online world, whatever your passion is for what you want to do with the internet, what product you want to sell, and how you want to help people, hopefully there's a strategy that's in there that's going to help you, right? That's going to use content. Because the fact is, if you are not building your own audience, you're going to be renting someone else's audience. That's what advertising is. You're paying for someone else who's providing value to a viewer or to a reader to put eyes on something. That's what advertising is. You're buying other people's audience. Content marketing, you build your own audience. You build your own audience, and then you can actually, I make ad revenue too, right? Ad revenue for YouTube goes up. Okay. So everything goes up at once, which is great. So anyway, that's how the sausage is made. Have a great one. Leave me your thoughts down below. Don't fall into despair. It takes a long time to build up an audience too. So don't let that set you back, because it's just not an overnight kind of thing. And even if you look at my subscriber count, which is I think close to 50,000, that's not 50,000 active viewers. There's about 3,000 active viewers, which is great. I'm really happy to have every single person. But that's because things go up, things go down. There's a maturity that happens to channels. Whatever topic you're talking about, it'll flatten off and it'll start to decrease, and you have to figure out what you're going to do after that as well. I've talked about that with, working for the robot. So that's another thing that long-term you'll have to think about as well. Is like, oh, the views stop being automatic after a while because your audience has basically gotten everything that they need from you after a while. Okay. And then you can decide what you want to do after that. Anyway, have a great one, and I'll see you all next time. Don't forget to check out King Leopard. Get yourself a signed hardback. Have a great one.